Hello all. So, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do an outrun of what Playing Bob Doubles is to help you all out and to teach you. Most of you probably already know what it is, and I thought, why not? Let's do it, as Christine did ask earlier. So, what is Playing Bob Doubles? Well, you're about to find out, aren't you? So, Playing Bob Doubles. What will I be discussing today? So, the first thing I'll be discussing is the introduction of what Playing Bob Doubles is and the methodology behind it. After that, I'll be discussing the diagram, what the diagram means, how you look at it and how you learn it. What's a circle of work? You'll find out later. Explaining a dodge. I'll go over what a dodge is for those who don't know. And I'll go over an example of a bell ringing Playing Bob. In this example, it will be bell number 3. So, the diagram. What is a diagram? Well, the diagram is the most valuable resource when learning a new method. The diagram shows you where your bell should be, what's happening, and where it is happening. So, for instance, here we can see this bell, number 3, here, comes into the front and it leaves twice. And we can see that happens by this blue line here. Then, we can also see that further down into our method, we see the bell dodge. Now, the bell dodging basically means it comes in and it goes back out again, or it comes out and it goes back in again. So it can work both ways. For instance, 3, when we start off the method, ringing Playing Bob, after we've run one lead of Playing Hunt, we start the method. 3 starts by leading, making second place. This is where we do 2 blows in second place after our lead, then leading again. As you can see, this is a dodge, as it's going in, out, and in again. An introduction to what Playing Bob is. Well, I think personally that Playing Bob is basically Playing Hunt. However, after the first lead, this is when every bell has led once, except the bell following behind. That is if you are ringing a method which requires a bell ringing behind. The bells will begin to dodge. So, again, without that interruption in the middle, after the first lead, the bells begin to dodge. These dodges happen in different places, and I'll explain this later. Now, what is a circle of work? You may have heard people mention that when you learn Playing Bob, is you go off the circle of work. The circle of work tells you where every bell is, where every bell starts, and what happens in each position. For instance, bell number 3 starts here. It passes the treble, and then makes seconds, and leads, and then passes 4 and 5. So, this is a circle of work. This is another valuable resource which will help you learn Playing Bob and teach you the method. As you can see, these numbers show where each bell starts on each part of the circle. For instance, you pass the treble in the 1st and 2nd place, pass the treble in 4th and 5th place, pass the treble in 3rd and 4th place, and pass the treble in 2nd and 3rd place. Every bell will pass the treble, but it will be in a different place. So, here, where 3 is, this is where it is leading. So the bell is already leading at this point. This comes after the 5th. So the 5th will be before it, and then the 3rd leads. Now, you may have heard me mention the dodge earlier. What's a dodge? A dodge. It's basically changing the direction for one stroke in bell ringing, Although strictly, a dodge is taking a retrograde step into the middle of a portion of hunting. Practice is an exercise where two bells exchange places on every stroke, sometimes taught to aid learners change from call changes to plain hunt. Christine might have done this with you, I'm not sure, but I know at Hyde we have definitely taught some of our ringers by using this way, and they can now sort of successfully ring plain hunt. Now, finally, an example of ringing bell 3. What I'll do after this, once I've shown you through this example, is I'll go back to a couple of slides and I'll talk through it with a bit more information. If you don't want to listen, it doesn't really matter, but for those who aren't confident with playing Bob, I'll try my best to explain it for you. So, an example of ringing plain Bob. Right, plain Bob is it's the first method you'll ring with a dodge in it, and it's the first method you'll ring with a double lead, personally I think. So, for instance, as we say, we'll do third bell. 3 here. We start in rounds every time. Every time we ring a method, we'll start in rounds. So 3, we'll basically do our first chords, which ends here. Right, my bad. Fix that. It does not end there. It ends here. Ignore me again. I am just losing it. It is, I don't know, 9 o'clock at night. I'm not sure. I'm going to say it ends there. If I'm wrong, Christine, correct me, please. So, basically, this is your plain hunt. This is what you rehearsed before you ring your plain Bob doubles. So, as you can see, like normal in plain hunt, third bell will come out to the back, going in false place and fifth place. It'll say at the back for 2 blows, and then it'll come back out fourth place, third place, second place, and first. Now, this is where the first bit of action happens. The third bell will lead twice. So, it does its first 2 blows at forward here, as you can see. It then comes out, and this is called making seconds. Making seconds, what is it? Well, making seconds basically means staying in second place for 2 strokes. Also, you might realise that at this point, these bells here, so 2 and 5, dodge. 2 comes in, 5 goes out. 5 comes in, 2 goes out. It works in a circle. You can see this by if I use this red pen now, that this is where the action happens. So, back to number 3. We'll come out into second place for 2 blows. Remember, this is called making seconds. So, making seconds means ringing in second place twice. What happens then? We'll move on to this section. So, what happens then is you make seconds twice. So, as you can see, each line is a duplicate of the last line of each row. So, 1, 3, 5, 2, 4 is the same as 1, 3, 5, 2, 4 on this row. It's basically the last line of the last set. So, what happens then? This is its second time it's rang in seconds place, and then it comes back in again. That is called making seconds. It leads twice, and then off it goes. Basically, ringing its plain hunt. It goes out to the back, as you can see, all the way into seconds, thirds, fourths, fifths, rings in fifth place twice, comes in and does 3, 4, up or down. I think that's 3, 4 up. If I'm wrong, Christine, please correct me. So, it does 3, 4 up or down, and then we're back. with this line again, as you can see.